Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be doing another update of Washington Reagan National Airport. We have a very special visitor into today's update, but that will be at the end of today's video, so for now we're just going to go through all the regularly scheduled flights, starting off here with the American Eagle section. So first up here we have this American Eagle Embraer 175. He arrived in from Des Moines, Iowa, and is going to be heading out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Then next up here we have this American Eagle ERJ 145. He arrived in from Norfolk, Virginia, and is going to be heading out to Louisville in Kentucky. Again, the ERJ 145s don't really fly into Reagan that much. I'm just using this one here today to kind of fill the void a bit and add some more American Eagle aircraft into today's update. Then next up here we have the American Eagle Embraer 170 in the retro American Eagle livery. He arrived in from New Orleans, Louisiana, and he's going to be heading out to Rochester, New York today. Then after that we have another American Eagle Embraer 175. He arrived in from Columbus, Ohio, and is going to be heading out to Syracuse in New York. Then next up here, just getting fueled up, we have this American Eagle CRJ 700. He arrived in from Savannah in Georgia, and is going to be heading out to Akron in Ohio today. And then last but not least for American Eagle here, just being pushed back, we have another American Eagle CRJ 700. He arrived in from Cincinnati in Ohio, and is going to be heading out to Toronto in Canada. Then next up here, moving around to the American mainlines, here we have an American Airbus A321. He arrived in from Charlotte, North Carolina, and is going to be heading out to Indianapolis, Indiana today. Then next up here we have this American Boeing 737-800. He arrived in from Miami, Florida, and is going to be heading out to Chicago O'Hare in Illinois. And then finally here for American today, here we have the American Airbus A321neo. He arrived in from Los Angeles in California, and is going to be heading out to Phoenix, Arizona. Then next up here we have this Alaska Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Portland in Oregon today. Then next up here we have this JetBlue Airbus A320. He's just getting catered up for a flight out to Orlando in Florida. Then next up, moving around to Delta, here we have this Delta Connection Embraer 170. He's going to be heading out to New York LaGuardia today. Then we have this Delta Airbus A319. He's going to be heading out to Minneapolis, Minnesota today. And then finally for Delta, here we have this Delta Airbus A321. He's going to be heading out to Detroit in Michigan today. We then have this United Express CRJ 550. He's going to be heading out to Newark in New Jersey today. And then we have this United Airbus A319. He's going to be heading out to Houston Intercontinental in Texas today. Then next up here, just taxiing in, we have this Frontier Airbus A320. He's just arrived in from Denver, Colorado, which is Frontier's only destination out of Washington Reagan. Then next up here, we have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in the Heart livery. He's going to be heading out to New Orleans in Louisiana today. And then we have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 also in the Heart livery. He's going to be heading out to Dallas Love Field in Texas. Then finally here for this terminal, here we have the Air Canada Express CRJ 900. He's going to be heading out to Montreal in Canada today. And then finally for today's updates, here we have this Vietnam Airlines Boeing 787-9. This is actually a real flight that happened back in 2015 following the Paris Air Show. During the Paris Air Show, this Vietnam 787 was the demonstrator aircraft for the Boeing 787, essentially showing off what the 787 could do. This was of course Boeing's attempt to sell more 787s, and then following the air show, it flew from Paris to Washington Dulles, and then onwards from Dulles over to Reagan. It then remained here at Washington Reagan, where of course they tried to sell more 787s, and they kind of demonstrated it by offering tours and everything, and it was just another attempt for Boeing to sell more 787s essentially. This isn't the only time a 787 has flown into Washington Reagan. One of the Boeing 787-8s in the house colors flew into Washington Reagan, again I believe to promote the 787, but for an airport like Reagan that only really gets narrow-body aircraft, to have a wide-body at Reagan is something amazing despite being 7 years ago at this point. Along with the 787s, Reagan has seen passenger service on a wide body before. Delta used to fly the Boeing 767 from Salt Lake City to Washington Reagan. Back in the days when Delta had their old livery, that was. I don't think we've had a new livery Delta 767 flying to Reagan. Now, of course, Delta fly the 757 into Reagan from Salt Lake City. They also fly to Los Angeles and occasionally Atlanta as well. And while the 757 is no 767 or 787, it's still nice to see a relatively large aircraft serve Washington Reagan on a regular basis. But yeah, this Vietnamese 787-9 is going to be here for a while and then head back out to Washington Dulles. And apart from that, that does conclude today's update of Washington Reagan National Airport. I hope you did enjoy, and apart from that, I will see you in the next video. Bye.